Hi, I'm Malcolm.
And I'm Rachel. We're two Canadians living on our 39-foot mainship trawler, living an adventure of a lifetime. We invite you to follow along as we travel 6,000 miles through Canadian and U.S. waterways around America's Great Loop. And this is a report from the bridge before we leave.
It is. We've been in a really nice anchorage here. It's got everything. It's got, obviously the weather helped, but it's relatively shallow. It's really well protected for us. It's got coral at our back door, so we can just fall off the boat or dinghy over a little bit. You've got coral with fish and big rays, all sorts of things, even sleeping turtles we found. So There's lots of stuff here, and it's fairly close to everything. So we're going to be leaving here today, and it'll be our last day here. We're heading north. We'll slowly be making our way back, and we are probably going to be taking about 2 hours to get there to a harbor. We have, for the first time, we've pretty much run out of water. So we've been out for, I think, close to 10 days, and I think that's our limit as far as water. So we need to get more water in the tanks, and then will stay a couple days just to reprovision a bit. And after that, we'll head out again. And I think when we go, we'll go out and through Big Whale Key, which is heading out to the Atlantic briefly, and then back in.
Yeah. So, but today we're only going north about 2 hours to Marsh Harbor, and it's what, 16.1 nautical miles, I think.
Yeah, 16 nautical miles.
And it's low tide just about, so we wanted to leave as on a rising tide so that we can get into the harbor easily and get past a shallow area where they call it. What do they call it? Moving sand?
Shifting
sand. There's an area where we have to go over that's quite shallow that we just have to be very aware of the tide as we go there.
Yeah, and the marina closes at 5, so we're trying to time it so we get there at least half hour before they close. And then we will sit tight for tonight and then do a few things tomorrow. So it's been a really nice stay. It's probably the longest stay we've had at anchor for quite some time. But we've had big winds, we've had calm, we've done all sorts of stuff here, and it hasn't disappointed. It's really good.
Black Point Key is Stay Cool approved.
Stay Cool approved.
Hope you guys are having a great day. We just started the engine, and now I'm at the bow going to take the anchor up. And Malcolm's going to the upper helm to be able to drive from up there. just went around that bend of shifting sand where it's very shallow, and we're coming around a point where we'll go around and head towards Marsh Harbor. And we just saw some of the buildings on that shore there, which is like the other side of Marsh Harbor. So there's a resort there and another marina. And we're going to go in the harbor to the Conch Inn and Marina where we were previously. That's where we're going to reprovision and restock with water, etc. Really nice to have such a calm day that you can walk around the boat and go up on the bow and have a look. Very calm right now, very good conditions for boating, no spray at all, and just really nice and smooth ride. We have entered Marsh Harbor and are heading towards the Conch Inn and Marina. Malcolm has already hailed them on the radio and learned that we are in slip 64, which is a stern-in, port-side tie-up. And I'm not going to put any fenders out yet because of the pilings. They can get tangled on that, so we don't put them out until we're already in. But I will get the lines ready, and I'm going to go get our headsets and get ready to dock the boat. It's about 4:30 now, and we just arrived at Marsh Harbor at the Conch Inn and Marina. We had some help from Brian, and we are stern in on the port side. Just got everything tied up, and we'll have to watch it as the tide goes up and down to make sure it's tied accordingly. And on one side, we put 3 fenders with a fender board, because when we move on the tide, we move forwards and backwards as well as up and down, and that way it stops us hitting the post, and I'll show you that in just a minute. So we went 16.1 nautical miles, took us 2 hours and 7 minutes. And we're tucked in safely. We're here for 2 nights. So we're just filling up the water, and we'll go to the grocery store tomorrow. They've already closed today. Today's a Sunday. But there's a restaurant over there, and we do have plenty of food on board at the moment to have a meal, which is what we'll do. Here's our fender board set up. And what we've done is put 3 fenders in a line with a fender board tied with ropes to our railing here. And that way, if we move forwards or backwards, the boat is protected from this pylon. And I'll just take a shot farther away so you can see how that looks. So you can see the dock there with what are called pilings, those posts. And because of the tide, we move forwards and backwards as well as up and down. So it's good to have that fender board there, which is at the widest point of our boat to protect it. And then we're tied with a spring line, a stern line, 2 spring lines there actually. And we're also tied to the front post on either side. So there as well, we have a line. And right now they're kind of loose because we are almost at high tide. And when we go down, it'll be kind of hanging if we do it too tight. This is the first time we be so low in water. Malcolm's just filling up our water right now. So we take 150 gallons. So it's going to take a few minutes to fill them up. So we're all secured for the night, and I'm looking forward to having a little bit of plug-in, a little bit of dinner, maybe a little evening walk.
Good morning.
Yeah, we're in Marsh Harbor, and we're preparing to leave actually to go back across Whale Key, or around Whale Key, out into the ocean. And we've just been talking to someone who just did it. He got a video from them.
Very
and
nice.
They had really good conditions. They went early and they went at the high tide. We obviously didn't do that. And we talked to the staff here. One of them said it should be good to go. And now we're just having a little bit of a squall. I'm not sure if you can see that behind, but dark clouds, kind of windy. And the staff ran over and said, "Stay cool, stay cool. Don't go yet.
Yeah, stay.
Wait until the squall has gone
Just
through."
stay cool to here. Just stay cool.
Yeah.
So we haven't had too many squalls. In fact, we were out at anchor for almost 10 days and we had nothing. So this is maybe this is a harbinger of more summer-like weather here. Spring has started, I guess. So we maybe have more of these squalls, but we'll wait it out. We'll see when the wind dies down, the rain stops, and then we'll start up and head our own way across that Whale Key.
Hopefully all good.
Oh, it'll be all good.
So we're back at the marina. We only went a short way and we noticed a squealing noise. It wasn't really loud, but it was loud enough for us to notice over the sound of the engine. And Malcolm diagnosed that it was the alternator. And so we're back at the marina now, going to just check the belt, see what's going on. And if everything's okay, we'll head back out again. But at least we weren't far from the marina. That's a good thing. And we weren't at anchor when this happened. So Malcolm's in the engine room, taking a look. Well, hi there. Today we're in port. It's a very windy, blustery day, lots of waves on the water. So Malcolm is out doing a little bit of gel coat work, just touching up some things we noticed on the boat that needed fixing. And I'm making some oatmeal raisin cookies. Just a little treat to have a bit later. So here's the dough, and here's the cookies. Hi there. Today's Sunday, and when you last saw us leave Conkin Marina, it was Tuesday. And guess what? We're still at Conkin Marina.
We like it that much.
What happened?
What happened? Well, we got outside the marina area and just leaving the harbor, and we had a very loud squeal happen, very high pitched.
Yes.
And so what we ended up doing is, while we were out there, have a quick look in the engine room, diagnosed it as an alternator, not knowing exactly what the problem was, and thought, no, we're not going anywhere. We need to turn this around. So we turned around, came back to the exact same slip we were in, they're very nice here. They said, yeah, come on in. And then we immediately went to taking it apart, ordering a new one, a new alternator, and within 2 days we had a new alternator in and installed, which I think is tremendous here in Marsh Harbor, because we're remote. So to get it in 2 days, and then we tested it, seems to be good.
Yeah, so we're ready to go.
Yep, ready to go again.
Hope you're having a great day. Here we go again, leaving the Conch Inn Marina. So far it's smooth sailing, and I just went to the front and took off the covers off the front windows. As we go around Whale Key, it can be a little rough, and when you're up top you can definitely feel the motion a lot more. So we have the lower helm ready and the windows prepared, ready for us to move down to the lower helm if we need to. If it looks calm, we may just stay upstairs, but we do definitely have some waves out here from boats, but the wind conditions are much better than they have been. So we're very excited to be back on the water today. We actually arrived into Conch Inn on a Sunday and had planned to stay 2 nights, and then departed and had the issue with the alternator. And our alternator was still working, it was just squealing, so it kind of meant though that it could quit any time, so we wanted to play it safe and have it replaced. So now we can keep our old one, we'll get a new bearing, it was just one of the bearings. We'll replace the bearing once we get back to the States, and that will be our spare alternator, so at least we'll have that set. But it's great to be back on the water today. We went back to the marina on the Tuesday. That's the day that we left. Well, we hardly even left Marsh Harbor, but we went back to the marina. Malcolm took the alternator off, took it apart, and diagnosed the issue. We spent that day doing some research on how to get a new one. We tried to get one locally, but them to order one in would have taken about a week. And here, when things are delivered, it can take longer than what they say. So we actually sourced one in the States and had it delivered to a freight company in Florida who delivers directly to Marsh Harbor. So on the Wednesday, we ordered the part, had it airshipped next day to Abacos freight, and had all the paperwork for the export and import into the Bahamas, and sent that to them. They shipped it out on the Thursday morning. No, that's not right. They shipped it out on the Friday morning. So the part arrived Thursday, too late to be flown out. And then had it shipped the Friday here, and by 2 o'clock we had a call to say that it was there. So we walked over to get it. Took Malcolm less than 30 minutes to put it in, and we ran it, and we could have left that day. It would have been pretty late in the day to leave though. And then the Saturday, the following day, we had very high winds. So we decided to stay in port and leave on Sunday, which is today. So we're glad we did though, because here we have to go outside into the Atlantic Ocean around Whale Key. The part inside is too shoaled in to go, and we may be able to do it at high tide with our draft of boat, but it's kind of risky. So we don't really want to get caught. So we're heading out now in a rising tide and should be at Whale Key around high tide, or near high tide, and get around into the other side of the Abacos, back going sort of northeast, if you will, and then we're heading back towards the States now. So we've had a great time here. There's so much more to see in the Bahamas, but we're really happy we came to see what we did and do some snorkeling, and we'll still explore a little bit on our way back, but it's been a good journey so far.
morning. This is a report from the bridge. We're underway again. We are in the emerald waters of Abacos Sea. We are traveling at around 7.8 knots with a brand new alternator in, which seems to be working fine. We are going to be arriving at an anchorage today, not a marina. The winds are going to be quite spirited, shall we say, from the southwest. So we're going to be protecting ourselves. And then we expect to get there at around 1 p.m. today. So not a very long trip, but the trip today takes us around Whale Key. And for those of you that are interested, it's one area where you actually have to go outside into the Atlantic and then come back in again. So there are some big swells out there. I have my binoculars. I'm checking to make sure that there's no breaking waves. We've got some boats ahead of us that'll report and tell us what's going on. So I think it's a good day to go through. That's pretty much it today. Hopefully an uneventful sail. That's a report from the bridge.
A calm day, and we're having a lot of rocking and rolling as we head out into the swell going around Whale Key, and I can see the boat in front of us really moving around, and you can see us really moving around. I came up to the flybridge just to take some images, and it's pretty uncomfortable, so I'm going to head back downstairs, but just wanted to show you what it's like up on the flybridge as we're heading out into the swell. Almost around Whale Key, and the swell was a little bigger than we expected. Malcolm actually took it off autopilot and is driving manually, partly because there were other boats here, but we had to maneuver around their wakes, and there's another one actually coming on our port side right now, so it's making it really rocky rolly, but we are almost done, and we'll be turning back into the inside route and going to an anchorage. So we'll be in calmer waters very soon. Really hard holding the camera steady. I try to keep it level with the horizon so you can see the movement of the boat, but it's been pretty hard to do that. We're finally into slightly calmer waters. We're headed with the swell now back into the inside passage, but I can still really see the swell as we go along here. It's sort of hard to show it on camera, but this has been a very stressful, interesting passage today. calmed down a lot more now, and now we're inside and we're approaching Green Turtle Key. We're actually not going there today, we're going there tomorrow. But it's a lot more comfortable in the boat now. And we're going to re-engage the autopilot. We had to take it off because there was a lot of traffic out there. And so Malcolm was doing a lot of work driving. Well, hi there. We just arrived at our destination. We traveled 23.5 nautical miles in 3 hours, and we went around Whale Key for a second time.
Whale Key, thank goodness that's done.
That was pretty rough and interesting today, wasn't it?
It was. It was one where, I mean, we had the new alternator in, so a bit of a test for that. We knew it was going to get a little wavy. We knew it wasn't dangerous, but those waves, some of them were huge, and it really put us to a test as far as on the beam, and the boat was just rocking back and forth and up and down. So it was about an hour of, maybe half an hour of rock and roll.
Very intense. I felt like our boat was really small.
Tiny.
That's what it felt like.
Tiny.
We're out in the ocean with swell, and I know that sailboats do this all the time, ocean-going sailboats, but this is not something that we do normally,
no.
Obviously, and it's pretty much outside of the comfort zone for pleasure boating, I would say.
That was not pleasure boating. That was getting to and from pleasure boating, but it wasn't pleasure boating.
The good thing is we knew it was short term, and we knew we had to get from A to B, and that was the only way to do it, really. So we did it now. Now we don't have any more of that type of crossing. We still have crossings, but not like that.
All the more reason that we watch the weather so closely. This one you can't really watch the weather. You just got to watch your winds. And you have to make sure that the waves aren't breaking over the cut, which they weren't. So the ones coming up, it's all around weather and wind and waves. And we're watching those like a hawk to see when we're going to get the most comfortable passage. Because as we always say, this is pleasure boating, and we need to maintain that. So yeah.
Anyway, we made it.
Very glad we're done.
Yeah, so we're anchored for now. We are going to go into a marina again tomorrow for 3 nights, and that's because we have very, very big gusty winds coming again. And then we're hoping after that we can get closer to West End and be ready to cross back to the United States.
Yeah, that's our goal. Our goal is to get back now.
But weather is only really good a day or two. Forecast or wind forecast a day or two in advance. So we're watching. Looks like there might be something opening up, but no guarantees till we actually get to that point.
And the funny thing that we're hearing from some of the locals is the westerlies that we're getting are very strong and they're consistent, which is unusual.
Which is unusual for this time of year, apparently. They don't get westerlies now.
So now we're kind of waiting. We're actually in an anchorage right now. The waves are and the wind are on our nose, but that's going to shift tonight, and it's going to get quite strong. So we're close to shore just to break some of that wind up and waves.
Southwest is supposed to turn southwest, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
So we're now going to be protected by this big piece of land that's in front of us, and then tomorrow we're going to scoot over to the marina because there's even more wind coming. So it's a pretty much a cat and mouse game. When the winds aren't out, we go and play. When the winds are howling, we try and hunker down somewhere.
And that's really what you have to do here. So the other thing I want to say is you did a great job piloting the boat because we had autopilot on, and we basically had to take it off autopilot because there was a lot of traffic. And you had to dodge traffic and waves and kind of people like getting waked and then swell, and it was a lot to deal with. So
it was a bit crazy. I mean, you're going through a very narrow cut, relatively speaking, and everybody wants to go through in both directions. So it's not as though it felt almost like the ICW in Florida, except throw in 6 to 8 foot waves and on
steroids.
Yeah. So it was a bit of a challenge. There's no doubt about it.
Anyway, you did a good job, and the swell was on their beam. So you kind of had to point out a bit and point back in and then deal with waves. So anyway, we did it. Yay!
We did. And when we were coming back in, we'd surf some of those waves and we'd get 9.7 knots.
Yeah, may as well use something to our advantage.
Yeah, so, but we're done.
Yeah.
That's it.
Now we can have a somewhat relaxing afternoon and get ready to go back to Green Turtle. We're going to a different marina this time in Green Turtle, but go back to Green Turtle for a few days just while we wait out some winds. Anyway.
And it's... this is something to keep in mind too. You got to make sure your anchor is set well. So one of the things Rachel does is she'll put her hand on the chain when we're setting the anchor just to see if it skips and jumps, and then I'll back down on it.
And we let more chain out to do it again.
Right, to dig it in. So
seems to have set really well, but we'll watch it for the next hour or two and obviously put our anchor alarm on.
Already done.
Yeah. Good morning. We stayed at an anchorage just off of Great Abaco here, and we had really good protection from the southwest winds, and you can see that they're coming off land now, which is what we knew would happen. When we anchored yesterday, we were not facing this way, but we had good protection last night, and the sun is out, and the winds are going to get stronger. So we are heading into Green Turtle Key to Bluff House Marina, and we just gave them a call and they're ready for us to arrive. So we're going to pull up our anchor and head on over there. Hope you're having a great day. So we had a pretty good stay at our anchorage last night, and it's going to get windier. It's pretty windy already, isn't it?
It is windy already. We're in the protection of the island, or the island, so we knew it was going to be a little more calm. The thing that was unusual was there was smoke last night.
Yeah, probably from the dump or something. Right?
It smelled like wood smoke, but it was there was a lot of it.
Yeah, for a while we had to close our windows. It was kind of interesting. But anyway, it didn't last forever.
No, it didn't. And we're on our way. We have, although we're not marina people, we've had a little more marina time than we would expect because of some of the fixes we had to do. But
yeah, we choose the marina for safety more than anything.
Yeah, and we got some pretty strong winds coming up for the next 3 days. So
yeah.
We thought, let's not risk it. We're close to our return to the States. Let's hunker down somewhere and then plan out when we're going to be moving across. So there's actually supposed to be some thunderstorms in that as well. So we thought, I don't really want to be at an anchor when there's a thunderstorm going on.
There's cloud coming now, and it's not bad yet, but we know it's coming. And plus, we get to see some friends who we haven't seen for a while. So
yeah, that's right.
That's going to be nice.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's beautiful today. We're actually going with the wind right now, which is great.
Yeah, we seldom get that.
Yeah, and our ear techs, suddenly one of the headsets stopped working. We don't know why. It's probably a little mechanical thing we have to fix, hopefully. Because one is working, but that's going to make docking very interesting. Hopefully we can do hand signals like we used to, not yelling.
Not yelling. No yelling.
No yelling.
No yelling, no Frenching.
Exactly. Anyway, hope you guys are having a great day. No sooner had we left that the sky opened up, and it is raining. It's raining a lot, actually, a little bit more to the north, and hopefully it won't be right over us when we dock. So we just arrived at Bluff House Marina in White Sound, Green Turtle. And you can see the dock there, and I'm not sure if you can see that. Yeah, there you can, the 3 fenders and the fender board. There's a shorter dock there, and then the front is fastened with a piling. So if I move forwards, you can see the rope we have going all the way to that piling right there. So that's what's holding us on the dock, and there's a bit of wind, so we have to make sure we have our spring lines on and everything. Anyway, I'm going to show you, actually I'll turn around this way. We've already been here before to Bluff House Marina. And over there is a restaurant, and we went and had breakfast there on Valentine's Day, actually, when we first arrived. So here we are again, and we're going to visit some friends and enjoy our time here. We do have a lot of winds and a bit of rain, possibly thunderstorms expected over the next few days, so it's good that we're tied up and we can just not worry about the boat.